All right, everybody, warm welcome. So we're into the last 3 days. The series is completed on the 7th of August. That would be 108 days of daily practices. And you don't have to stop. You can keep going. You can revisit. The recordings are on Instagram and they're on YouTube. YouTube has all the recordings. Instagram has some of them. And also don't feel that you have to use the recording. You can just practice on your own as well. And yesterday's practice, I had a dream after that where I had a sense that Lord Shiva is saying that do this 88 times. Do this one 88 times. So if you feel like doing that one 88 times, the one that was done yesterday, which is that deny the stamp of reality. So you're welcome to do that again, if you like. And let's continue with today's practice. Only 88 times. Yeah, why not? You can do 888, 8,888. Why not? You can do more times. Why not? Kindly let us know when you'll be back. I'm having a sense it'll be back, not in the same way. Something different will come. Let's see what happens next. So I'm not going to speculate. We'll see. I'm going to the land of Advait Shaiv Darshan, also known as Kashmir Shaivism. I'm going to Kashmir on a pilgrimage for about 10 days. So I'm sure some further distillations will happen. So good, let's just start with a little UFO drum. Will you be continuing with the new moon and full moon practice? I will. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it if I'm in Kashmir. I'll have to check the dates. But normally I do continue with that. Yeah. One of the simplest practices we can do at any time is to recognize the background of silence. Background of silence. As I'm speaking right now, the fact that you can hear me means that there is a background of silence. And typically we tend to be focusing more on the words. But what's it like to, even as I'm speaking, in the very process of hearing me, to be equally aware of the background of silence? A very good skill to develop. Yeah, what will start happening is, even as you're thinking, a part of you is aware of the background of silence. So thoughts then appear like waves of an ocean, waves of an infinite, timeless ocean, arising and passing, arising and passing. In fact, everything in your life appears like that. All pleasant experiences, all unpleasant experiences. I was attending a talk organized by Buddhist Society, some Buddhist group in Delhi, and they had invited one of the monks I knew. He was actually a little senior to me when I was a monk myself. And as he was speaking, he was describing how the worst thing for us is the lowest of the low experience, and the best thing for us is the highest of the high experience. But look at it carefully, he said. The lowest of the low, the fact that it's lowest of the low means it can only get better from here. And the highest of the high, the highest peak, implies it can only go downhill from here. So the problem with pursuing peak experiences is you have the slump. And when it comes to our fear of the lowest of the low, well, that also doesn't last forever. That also changes. Things get better. They may not appear like it, but they do. So he mentioned about the power of being equilibrated, which means not too high, not too low, just in your center. And yeah, there'll be minor ups and downs, but in your center, in the center of the center. And in this moment, I want to give you a different analogy, but I think it's more accurate. The highs and lows, this is the experience of an individual wave, as we all know. Every single one of us, highs and lows, throughout our life. Even today, you probably had some highs and lows. Highs and lows, highs and lows. But from the perspective of the ocean, there is no high and low. What's it like to take on the perspective of the ocean? No highs and no lows. So that's the opportunity here. So when we say notice the background of silence, what we're actually saying is notice the ocean of silence. The ocean of silence over which there are a few waves of this thought and that thought. And that's all right. Don't try to fight the thoughts. Just keep it in perspective, keep it in proportion. So there's an ocean of silence and stillness over which there are waves of thoughts, there are waves of feelings, there are waves of sensations, there are waves of seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching and all kinds of activities, speaking and doing and many others. It's all happening on the surface. So if all of this is happening on the surface, my thoughts, my feelings, if it's all happening on the surface, then why are we getting so upset? Because the depth of who we are is this beingness. It's like an ocean. It is like an ocean. Need to experience it. Experience is also a funny word, but it's okay. Good enough. The background is silence. The background is silence. And this will further extend itself. Like, for example, when people come to me and they're sharing this problem and that problem on the phone or in person. Honestly, I don't see a problem. I see them sitting here on a comfortable chair. Temperature is good. Health seems to be good. And they're totally fine, actually. There's an ocean here. And there's a wave of saying, oh, that was unfair and that was cruel and that was not, I wish it hadn't happened like that. That's fine. That's a wave. But the person sitting in front of me is an ocean of well-being, is an ocean of presence, is an ocean of consciousness, is an ocean of wisdom. And I'm not just making this up. This is actually the way it is. And perhaps the way it works is the more you're in touch with your own inner ocean, you recognize the ocean in the other. And when you recognize the ocean in the other, the dynamic has changed because you're seeing something that no one saw before. Sometimes even that person didn't see it before. So you generate a capacity to be with people and not get so caught up in their drama. Why? Because you see them as an ocean. And these are just little waves, quite inconsequential. We're not going to say they have no meaning. They do have their own meaning, but really very inconsequential compared to the ocean. What we focus on expands. So learn to notice the background of silence. Even in a noise-filled world, notice the background of silence. What's behind this? What's behind this? What's behind this? What's behind this? It's not only with sound, it's with things you're seeing. What's the stillness behind this? What's the light behind this? And you're going to get access to a dimension of infinite fulfillment, infinite creativity, infinite ease, infinite flow, infinite non adhering to any specific identity. And this is a real gift. So keep noticing background of silence, background of stillness. Background cannot be owned by anyone. Cannot be owned by anyone. It belongs to everybody. And what you focus on expands. What you see in others, you evoke in others. So when you see in them the infinite, the highest, the goodness, and you see that in them, that's what you evoke in them. This is far more powerful than studying any kind of a complicated course in psychology or counseling. See what's underneath. Relate to them as though you can see what's underneath. See what happens. So this is a simple instruction, not that complex. The fact that you can hear my voice, you can notice that there's a silence behind my voice, otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear it. So similarly with every experience, there's a background of stillness, background of silence. Beautiful. Keep noticing the ocean-like background of silence. Break the cultural assumption, the conditioning. You need pleasant to be happy. You need to avoid the unpleasant to be happy. Instead, come to the holistic recognition. Everything has its place. Everything has its place. Very nice. This is how you awaken your ocean-like self. This is how it goes. All right, please take rest, everybody. Have a nice, restful evening. Right. Good. Well done. So 2 more days, tomorrow and day after, for our daily practice. See you on the other side. Take care. Bye-bye.